This woman wants to know the truth about her internet boyfriend.
He was saying little nice things. He liked my profile. He thought I was attractive. I thought he was too.
Crystal fell madly in love with this man.
He felt that I was the one for him. I was like, oh, all right now.
And where exactly is this person behind this profile?
I've told you the truth and nothing but the truth.
Is the box of gold bars that she's receiving real?
He said I had a contract and they compensated me with these gold bars worth $5.5 million. Something's not right. Sometimes when I come home, I'll come out and it'd be like a car sitting out there all of the time. I've never heard of a romance scam. But then I had reached out to you guys and I was like, OMG, this might be a romance scam.
Real quick, guys, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your comment and like could help stop someone from being scammed. Let's get into it.
I am Crystal. My passion is to help people with special needs. I work with people with developmental disabilities as a case manager. I enjoy my work very, very much. I work a lot, so my free time I spend resting, talking to my friends, hanging out with my family. I have 3 adult children. I have 6 grandchildren. We are very, very close, so I speak to them a lot. I haven't had a lot of relationships. My relationships that I did have were very long-term relationships. My first one was my only marriage. I was a young girl. He went into the service. I traveled with him for a little while. We were just too young to really understand what marriage was really about. I met my daughter's father and had her, and I stayed with him for about 7 years. That wasn't a good relationship at all. It was very hostile. It was abusive physically and emotionally. When I left that relationship, I stayed single for a good amount of time until I met the person I'm just getting out of a relationship with now. I had 2 children by him, my 2 boys. Families didn't get along. It was just a mess. What got me interested in online dating was because I work so much, I don't get to get out a lot. I have 2 friends who have dated online, and so they recommended it to me. They've been married for 10 plus years now. I didn't approach it to find someone online to date. I haven't gone on any dating apps. I met this gentleman on Instagram. I was just strolling through and they inboxed me. So I was like, well, this guy's really persistent. He was saying little nice things. He liked my profile. He thought I was attractive. I thought he was too. It really made me feel good. I finally said hello back, and that's how we started chatting. His name was Michael George. He's light-skinned, an older gentleman. Eyes look brown. He seems like he's a really tall guy, like 6 feet maybe. He's a heavy-set guy, not fat, but he's a big guy. He has facial hair. He likes to wear shades. He's a fairly attractive guy. So he said that he's a marine engineer. He said he's from Buffalo, New York. He has 2 children, a boy and a girl. He seems like he's a church guy, that he goes to church. He shows a lot of compassion, a lot of concern. He's a good listener. He seemed like a really nice guy, nice, sweet guy. And he would text me. He texts me every day and every night. It would be, good morning, gorgeous. We talk about anything. We laugh and we joke about a lot of stuff. He said he wanted to really get to know me. He felt that I was the one for him. I say, well, how do you know? He said, you could just feel it. The words, the things he used to say to me was just so beautiful. Like, it's something a woman would want to hear. I hadn't heard those things in like forever. I kind of like started looking forward to speaking to him, just to hear those little, beautiful things he used to say. Call me babe. I call him babe back sometime. When we first started talking, we talked about what we was looking for out of a relationship. I said, I'm at the age now where I just want to settle down and I want to get married. He was like, oh, you serious? He said, that's what I want too. We didn't want any more children because we have children. We wanted to travel. He wanted me to travel with him, and I was down for it. I love God. He said he loved God. That was very important to me. He even recited some scriptures to me, and I was like, oh, all right now. He had started telling me that he felt like he was in love. He said, I think I love you. I think I fell in love with you. Kind of like threw me off a little bit because I was like, it's only been about 2 months. What do you mean that you in love with me? He was like, it's something about you. I could tell that you're a good woman. I could feel your energy through the text. So you don't feel something? But by then I did start liking him. I never met any person like that before. That's what kind of like drew me to him. It's been 8 months now. By this time, he said he had spent his money that he had to sustain himself there, and his game system had went off or whatever. And he said, I'm really bored here. Just help me out. It was $50, so I sent it to him, and he didn't ask for anything for good time. And then this last time, he said that he was hungry. So I had sent him, I think, like $70 or something like that. And he said that when he got it, somebody had already spent the money from the card. The hotel that he was staying in was for Marine engineers. And from what I read, they are well taken care of. Why are you not eating? And he said most times they serve like baked beans and stuff like that. And it bothers his stomach. He said, "Oh, money is not a problem." He said, my account is just frozen." So I asked him why. He said because he forgot his password and used it too many times, and they froze his account. I said, all you got to do is call them and give them the correct information, and they'll help you unlock it. So he said he can't do it like that. He has to be in person. So that's one of the reasons he wants to come back, so he can get that straightened out. Right around July, August, he went over to Dubai. He said to me one day, he said, Crystal, can I share something with you? So I said, sure. He said, but it has to stay between me and you. So I was like, okay. He said, I had a contract when I was over in Japan, and they compensated me with these gold bars worth $5.5 million. He said the security place they were holding it at, the lease was up. He said it was too much money to lease it again. He said, I want to move it from there, and I would like for you to hold it for me until I come home at the end of my contract. Initially, I was like, I'm not, what? I said, why would you want me to hold $5.5 million worth of gold? Like, you don't really know me. Like, he said, no, I do. I trust you with all my heart. Initially, I said, no, I didn't want no part of that. I don't want to be responsible for anything like that. He was upset a little bit. He was like, I trust you. There's no risk to you. All you have to do is receive it and just hold it for me. I had initially said, no, I wasn't going to do it. He said, Crystal, please, could you please help me? I don't want to lose it. Like, I really need you to move it from there. So what I did was I brought like a P.O. box in New York with the address and stuff where it could be delivered. And I said I would pick it up from there. Supposedly they shipped it, and then it landed over in Washington, D.C. So they sent me an email, and it said, oh yeah, your package has landed here, but in order for us to release it to New York, we would need you to pay a fee of $1,299. And I was like, oh, now see, that's where they went wrong. But I said, I don't have no money like that. So I sent the information that they sent to me to him. And he was like, babe, just do it for me. I'm going to pay you when I get back. So I said, why don't you send me the $1,200. I'll pay the fee. And then when the gold bars come, I know where to go change it in, and I'll send you the money back. He went back and forth with me for a long time. But what made me doubting was the email itself. It had a lot of grammatical errors. And I said, this email don't even seem legit. And he wanted me to press this link. And I said, I'm not pressing no link. I said, you press the link to track it. That's when I started thinking. I was like, first of all, why would he trust me with that much? He don't know me. He's never seen me, only through my Instagram. Something is not right. He said, I got to get back home because I got to get my package. But I had done a little research on that kind of thing. And they usually hold your package for like 10 days before it goes somewhere. So now it's been like almost 5 months. So that's make me feel like something is not right. I had asked for him to video chat with me. Sometime when we talking through Instagram, I would press the camera button just to see what happens. And he would say, Crystal, it's not going to work. I don't have a camera on my computer. I was really stressing that I needed to see him. He did some kind of video chat, but it lasted like 3 seconds. And this is when I really started becoming doubtful about him. It's because when the video came up, it was like a clean face. And I didn't really get a good look at him. He kept saying, can you see me, baby? Can you see me? It was something off with the video. And then the second one, he had hair on his face. And I'm like, okay, I know he didn't grow no hair that fast. So I said, no, that wasn't good enough. I need to talk to you through video at length. By that time, we was talking a good 4 months. He was like, no, it's the connection. The connection is not good. When I heard his voice, he had a very, very deep accent.
I've told you the truth and nothing but the truth. Please, if you really, really want to help me, fine. You said you have nothing with me again. You said it's over between you and I. No problem. I don't want to argue with you. But if you really, really want to help me, please help me and stop interrogating me. Please, I beg you, stop interrogating me. I don't like it. I've told you what I know, and that is what I know. So stop making me feel as if I'm lying or I'm trying to pretend about something here. Please, if you want to help me, I beg you in the name of God, help me with your whole heart.
I said, why do you have an accent? He said, yeah, I know it's from my mom's side. His mom and his father lived here in the States, but then I think when he was about 4, his mom took him back home to Senegal. He said he's from Senegal. And that's where he got his accent from. You know, his accent is like a Southern African accent, if that makes sense. Well, initially it was fun. It was nice. You know, it was refreshing. The compliments, all those things that I hadn't gotten in so long. It felt really good. Then it took a turn for me. My mom always said, you know, a man is supposed to be a man. If anything, you a marine engineer. You're supposed to be helping me, because I used to tell him all the time how I'm struggling. You know what I mean? I'm just not used to taking care of a man, like, unless it was one of my children, you know? I didn't like that experience. Everything inside of me, this feeling I had, if you was to tell me that he's real, that would make my day. That would be really nice. That would be very, very nice. He sounds so sincere, like he's good. Like he sounds so sincere. When he responds, it's with a lot of emotion. He feels hurt that I'm even doubting him. He's like, do you love me, Crystal? I was like, yes, I do. He said, no, not like that. Not like a Christian woman. I'm talking about romantically. He says to me that he loves me, and I'll say to him that I love you back. A lot of times I feel like maybe it's real. Then other times I feel like something is not right. So I'm like conflicted. This is why I reached out to you guys, because something is just, it doesn't sit well with me, but I'm not sure.
All right, Seekers, it was time to dig in. Crystal was able to provide us with this email of the package company who was pressuring her to pay for the parcel fees. They needed $1,300 to deliver the package of $5.5 million worth of gold. We also had several photos of this man in these images and his email and phone number. It was time to debunk some of the lies that Crystal had been fed. She wanted to know if this was her Prince Charming or just another romance scam. Stick around until the end. We'll give Crystal the truth about Michael's $5.5 million worth of gold and prove to her where this person is located. If you are looking to find out the truth about your online lover, reach out to our team's email address, sharemystory@socialcatfish.com. We can find the answers you need. After a few days of researching all of this, it was time to reveal the truth to Crystal.
Crystal, first of all, thank you for joining us today. Are you ready to hear what we have to tell you?
A part of me want to know, a part of me don't, but I need to know.
So how's everything been for you while waiting to hear answers from us?
I've been filled with a lot of anxiety. You know, I want to know finally what's going on, you know?
So Crystal, tell me, has Michael been reaching out to you?
Yeah, I speak to him almost like every day. And I spoke to him earlier today. He wanted me to send him like $650, but he hasn't told me who to send the money to.
Does he normally reach out to you and tell you he wants you to send money to someone?
Well, just recently, because he had asked me to help him get to the States, I initially said I would help him, but then I started feeling kind of not sure about him. So I've been kind of like stalling him, saying, okay, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. But then I had reached out to you guys, and I've been stalling him for about maybe like a month now.
It looks like you had been corresponding between 2 different emails from Michael and a company?
That email was about some package that he wanted to send to me for me to hold. They wanted me to pay like $1,299 to move the package to New York.
We ran some email searches on both of the emails, and what we had found was there was no public data, no social media linked to any of these emails. We typically see that when an email is newly created.
They wanted me to press some kind of link that was on there. I never pressed it.
We did end up clicking on that link, and the website was down.
Did you know that the website isn't working?
Well, I never clicked on the link. The email didn't look good to me either. It had some grammatical errors in there, and I was like, this don't even look right. And I told him that.
We do have access to website tools to confirm when the website was created and other public information as to who created the website. What we had found was the website was actually created back in October of 2023.
That's around the same time.
That's a huge red flag, right? And now the website's down, and what that tells me is that this website was clearly created and used to scam you, correct?
Yes.
So did you ever send money to the parcel company?
Never, no.
Good, good. Let's talk about this phone number that you used to text Michael on.
So that number is hooked up to like the WhatsApp account. You know, I started trying to look for myself because I have one of your tools, but it came to somebody in Connecticut. So I was like, oh my God, he's here. Like he's in Connecticut, but he's saying that he's somewhere else. So I said, well, why you have a 203 area code if you in Dubai? So he said, well, I got that phone from a friend that lived in Connecticut. So I don't know where he got that number from. I just seen it on the WhatsApp account that he had.
Do you think he's in Dubai?
I really don't. I really don't. Sometimes I feel like he's in Connecticut, really, you know? It's strange. I could just come home and come and walk in my door and he'd just call me.
Does he know when you're getting off of work?
He doesn't really know like my schedule, but it seems like he do, you know what I mean? Because sometimes when I come home, I'll come out and it'd be like a car sitting out there all of the time. As soon as I get upstairs, I get a text. So sometimes I feel like, is he in Connecticut? You know, is he watching me? You know, and that happens a lot.
I think Michael's either somewhere in Lagos or Ghana. I don't think he's in Connecticut.
Why do you think that?
When you look at this guy's face and then we compared it to some of the voice notes that he was sending you, Crystal, do those really match up?
Please, if you want to help me, I beg you in the name of God, help me with your whole heart. I am going to pay you your money. Crystal, you're not giving me this money.
It doesn't match, right? I questioned him about that as well. I said, you know, your voice doesn't match that face, right?
I mean, what type of accent does it sound like to you?
He sounds like he lives in Africa.
That's a West African accent.
His accent is a dead giveaway. I mean, we've been doing this for a long time and we hear that accent quite often. What I found was that this was actually a VoIP phone number, which is an internet phone number. And he can basically add as much or as little details as possible and attach it to this phone number.
And we see almost in every type of romance scam, a VoIP number is used.
And do you know why, right?
Just so he can't be traced.
Exactly.
Yep.
We were able to locate who this man was in these images.
Really?
So we ran some reverse image searches on all the images that you sent over to us, and what we had found was this person, his name is Mr. Hill.
Okay.
There's a few things that he took from Mr. Hill's life. Michael claimed he was in New York. Michael also claimed that he was religious.
This person, his lifestyle, his life, the way he's living it, how does that align with what Michael is telling you?
It does not at all. At all.
And so do you think that the reason you wanted this to be true was the fantasy that he created?
Whenever I look at it that way, I guess so, because when we first started talking, he really made me feel good. He was saying things that I haven't heard like in years. You're beautiful, you know, just really nice, wonderful things. And it made me feel really good. So it made me want to talk to him more.
This is a normal tactic that scammers use when they're trying to create a fantasy. You know, this whole thing was a romance scam. Mr. Hill's likeness and photos were stolen to just get you to fall in love with this person and to send money.
How does that make you feel?
This is crazy. It kind of blew my mind because honestly, I've heard scams. They steal people's identity, like their social security numbers and stuff. I've never heard of a romance scam. Never until this. He sounds so sincere, so convincing. But then I noticed that, like, when I did question some of the things, that's when I would see another side of him, because he used to get upset then. Like, why do you doubt me? You have to trust me. He's so emotional, and it make me feel like, okay, well, maybe he's telling the truth. After a while, I stopped feeling good, because I started seeing some red flags. What I'm hearing now is just confirming everything that I felt, but was still kind of like unsure. That's really all I need right there. I watch you guys, and I tell you, when some of the people were talking, I was like, OMG, this might be a romance scam, because everything that the people were saying was the same things this guy says to me. Have you eaten? And it seemed like everything that you say to me is what I read. I started saying, oh my God, I think I'm in a romance scam. But I wasn't too sure, because like I said, he's so convincing. He's good.
Everybody wants that person, you know, especially a handsome man or a good-looking girl to compliment them, and that's what these scammers have learned over the years. I can use these same quotes because these are what people want to hear.
Oh goodness.
So where do you go from here, Crystal? What are your plans with Michael?
That's it. Yeah, that's it for me.
That's it? You don't even want to try to date?
I'm just going to continue to do what I do, but he has to be in person. I want to see him. I want to touch him, see him, look at his ID, everything. No, not online. I don't like it. It's too much stuff going on. This world is so dark.
Crystal, thank you for hopping on with us today.
Y'all guys are amazing. I mean, y'all are amazing. And I really appreciate you guys a lot.
You're welcome, Crystal.
You're welcome, Crystal. It's nice meeting you.
Same here.